Hello, everybody. It's time to begin. This session will talk about connecting FileMaker on iOS to external accessories and external hardware. We will talk about FileMaker Go, FileMaker based on FileMaker iOS App SDK, and sometimes about FileMaker via Web Direct. This session will take up to 1 hour. My name is Alexey Dubov. I am FileMaker developer from Ukraine. First, I want to apologize for my English level. It's not quite good. I hope you more or less understand me. I'm working with FileMaker for the last 9 years. Until today's morning, I thought that it's quite a big amount of time, but on one of session, I saw the guys that working with FileMaker something like 26 years, so I understand that I'm only beginner here. I'm also working with iOS, and I'm as iOS and macOS developer, and I very like to combine these two words. So today we will talk about some connection of these two different worlds. You may know me as by my service PushFM, or my application PushFM, that allow to send and to receive push notifications and receive it to FileMaker Go and FileMaker iOS App SDK based applications. You may know my Xproject FM application. Today we will talk a little bit about it. It allows to build you iOS App SDK application automatically without any command line tools. You may also know my Track FM application and framework that allow to track your corporate on it, iPad, iPhones, and to send the location of this GPS location to remote FileMaker server, even if your application on iOS device is not running. So it works completely in background mode. Could be interesting. And also, I'm working with plugins for iOS App SDK. It's FM Linear and FM Capture. So its plugins allow us to work with external hardware. And a little bit tell you more about some other products. Some later. Two words about myself. As I said, I'm from Ukraine. I live in Kyiv with my wife, my 3 daughters, and a newborn son. So I did it. So why actually we need to talk about external accessories? Actually, most required, maybe one of the most required feature for incorporate, it's barcode reading. Actually, iOS devices, iPhones, iPads has just perfect camera. We could use it to scan barcodes, to scan it directly into FileMaker Go. Why just we can't? Why we may need external accessories? Actually, when we work with built-in camera, it needs sometimes to focus. Sometimes, if your lighting condition is not very good, you need sometimes to get barcode. And usually you have few barcodes on the box, and you never know which barcodes will be scanned first. So it's like tricky way. So for this, so that's why we need to work with external very fast hardware readers. We have some projects in Ukraine where some kind of like warehouses or sales process when scan should be very, very fast. For example, sometimes you need to scan barcode few times per second, so it's a very high load environment. For example, one of the projects when the operator is coming through the shelves and scans every price tag on the shelf, and then if usually price tag has embedded price for current price on this project, on this product, and this price should be checked very quickly. Check it on the server. If price is correct, nothing should happen. But if not, some sound should appear, and a mobile printer should print new price tags, and this should be very fast. when you're making some inventory checking, this also you need to scan. Your clients need to make this very fast. When we're talking about printer, we have the perfect AirPrint technology. Many printers support it, and we already has printing abilities. But sometimes incorporate when you need to print to labels, to print small mobile printers for receipt printer. Many of them don't support AirPrint yet, and sometimes when you're printing via AirPrint, additional screen appears. You need to make some changes, and it takes time. And it's not very convenient in high-load environment. When we're talking about authorization, we have just perfect Touch ID technology. Everybody use it, but it's only for personal usage. You cannot authorize different people. Of course, you can add 5 different fingers of different peoples, but operating system will not recognize which person was unlocked your mobile device. It's only 2 options: lock or unlock. So that's why we need to use some RFID or magnet card or any kind of other external accessories to authorize user to start to work with, to differentiate different user on your point of sales, for example, or mobile device like data collection terminal. So this is just my short list. What kind of accessories we may need to work with FileMaker. Of course, it's barcodes, barcode readers. It needs widely, almost everywhere. We also need to read magnet card. Sometimes we need to scan license driver or loyalty card, magnet bank card, anything. We need to work with RFID to read and write RFID, to read tickets, to read RFID tags. So it's also very required feature. GPS. Very often we need maybe needed GPS, external GPS sensors, because built-in GPS very often drain battery too fast, and external sensors, external GPS sensors more precise. When we're talking, we also very often need to connect to Bluetooth devices. And not all devices support new version of Bluetooth LE, low energy, that Apple is using in iOS devices. So sometimes we need to support previous version of Bluetooth. So it's also required version. Some pin pad keyboards, maybe external temperature sensor, medical sensor, anything. Actually interesting that I have one client that using FileMaker Go or FileMaker on iPad on helicopters, and he need to track GPS location, very precise, and pilot need to see the current altitude, the speed of changing coordinates. So they're using such kind of sensors. These few slides I just added just few days ago. I'm collecting every hardware that connects to iOS that we can connect to FileMaker, and this I will show just a short list of possible hardware that we can embed to FileMaker. This is Germany company Desco that allowed to scan wireless ID cards and passport and read passports. It has iOS SDK, so actually I have a little play with it. Never touch the hardware device, but works with SDK, and it can be done. Connection can be done to FileMaker. Some later I will show you how. This accessory is very interesting. It's a company TSL from Great Britain. it's sensor. You need to place iPhone or iPad mini on the top of it. And like you see on the picture, just imagine that you have a box with many items inside with some goods. With each of them has a RFID sensor. And when you're moving this accessory near the box, you're reading all RFIDs in this box almost simultaneously. So I have one project, a remote project with this accessory, and it works quite interesting. Next is a company from Canada, Red Park. It creates lightning cables. It cables lightning to serial adapter, lightning to Ethernet, lightning to DEX cable. It's like for grocery vending machines, lightning to console cable for Cisco. So it's also quite interesting accessory. Today I'll talk more about accessories from Infinite Peripherals, a company also known as American company, also known like IPC Print. It's using such kind of accessory. You may see it in the Apple Store. So Apple Store guys using these adapters. At least I saw it in the Great Britain. Actually, it's my first time in the United States, so I don't really know how this works here. The same, yes? Cool. And we will talk about this adapter for iPad. Today I will show you how it works. Actually, in Ukraine, FileMaker, you know, Ukraine is not. It's far country. It's not so developed, maybe, and we don't know about FileMaker too much. People don't know about it too much, but we have quite interesting project here, and we using such adapters very widely in our country. And for example, one of our project is food retail company that has more than 60 shops, big food retail shops across the country. And at this moment, they have 500 of such devices. And in the end of project, it will be 1,500 of such devices. All of them will working with FileMaker and with these adapters. I will show. I'll talk how it works. Interesting that these adapters not only for barcode reading. It's quite complex, and you actually could order the option, so built-in options in these adapters. First of all, it's a barcode reader. Next, it's a magnet card reader, so we can swipe magnet cards here. You can order option for encryption for magnet card. It also supports RFID. We can read and write RFID text or RFID cards. So here I have RFID cards. We can read and write it. And this adapter also has Bluetooth for previous generations. So we can connect like SPP using Bluetooth serial protocol via Bluetooth for old equipment. We can, and also this version for iPad is also has serial port. So we can via cable we just can connect some old style equipment. Maybe sometimes we using in Ukraine we're using previous generation of fiscal printers that has only serial adapters. We also are using sometimes we're using serial to Bluetooth connector adapter, and then using Bluetooth to communicate with old hardware. So that's the common overview of possible accessories that could be used with FileMaker. Now let's talk about which option we have for connecting FileMaker Go to external hardware, and some later we will talk to FileMaker iOS App SDK. It's maybe most interesting. At least for our projects, I passed all this way, starting from simple application, simple integration with FileMaker Go, and at this moment, already more fun to connect in FileMaker iOS App SDK application. But let's go. Let's see all possible option to connect. When we talk about iOS, you may know that each application works in their own sandbox. And if we need to connect something to FileMaker Go, we for sure need to use some additional applications that will work with external hardware. And bad thing, and maybe good thing for us, that Apple is not allowed to access to documents, to settings from one application to another application because of sandboxing. So it's like for user protection. And to make it work, we need to use some techniques to connect the data. The most popular techniques to connect FileMaker to external application is, for sure, it's URL scheme. Yes, and it's for this we need to have FileMaker Go. We need to have additional applications that has embedded driver for some hardware, and we need to switch to this application, scan something, and your URL scheme sends the data back to FileMaker Go. Let me show you how it works. One of example. Now you can see my application. My application is running on its iPod Touch. Here can be iPhone, any generation, but iPod Touch is a little bit cheaper, so we widely use it. And I will look on some settings. Maybe it's too far from you, to some of you. We need to write the database name, some login password option. It's like just an application example that could be connected to a database. I'm pressing database button, and it will open for me FileMaker database file. And when I press scan button, it will return me back. Now I will scan some barcode. You see it appeared in FileMaker Go. Then I need to return back, scan again, return back. Then I return back. We'll scan magnet card. So the number of my credit card is appear. You can use it. Then I go. Actually, you don't know my CVV code, so it's okay. Then we can scan RFID card. So the RFID card number appear on the screen. So actually, this application will work okay. Oh my God! Wait a minute. I will figure out this. This URL scheme works very fast. It's easy to integrate, but you see that user will see screen redraw every time after each reading. It's not very convenient if you need to scan one by one very, very fast. But in not very high load environment usage, we can use such kind of scheme. Next, option 2, what we can do. Actually, you maybe remember the times when maybe know how to work USB barcode reader. USB barcode reader, it simulates keyboard. It's using a human interface device protocol, and it simulates, when you're scanning barcode, it simulates the sequence of pressed keys. Interesting that these techniques, it's quite simple, quite similar. We have Apple allow us to build custom keyboard, so we can build keyboard with embedded driver for our hardware. It's quite interesting, and we can, for example, run FileMaker Go application, open keyboard with embedded driver, and scan directly to any kind of application, including FileMaker Go or Web Direct. Let me show how it works. You also should see my device. I'll try to multiply it a little bit. I am going to settings. I already have installed keyboard. You can download it as application from the Apple Store, or create by yourself. I'm going to the keyboard. I'm adding new keyboard, and you can see scan board. I'm adding scan board. I must be sure it has full access. And now I will open some FileMaker Go file, maybe assets, standard file, and I will delete some previous entered data. Here I activate the field, and you can see the keyboard keyboard with embedded driver. I can switch to another keyboard. You can see that this keyboard actually it's not connected yet. I need to press button. It will connect, and now I will have some settings right inside keyboard. It's quite interesting. And now I will scan something, and you could see that scan will work with any kind of active field. I even can open Safari, and we'll try to scan here. You can see that it works in almost any application. So this version it works also quite easy to implement, but sometimes you have some few issues with this. Maybe some disadvantages of this option, because this keyboard is taking some part of the screen, and maybe because sometimes you need different language, not only English, so maybe you need to develop some other kind of keys. Or actually, I thought that you may even don't use keys at all, but to make some additional buttons that you need. Maybe you need to connect not only to barcode scanner, maybe you can embed in keyboard some other equipment, maybe printer driver, why not? So it's need to try. Third option that we have, it's connecting to FileMaker Go via external application via pasteboard. It's also quite interesting option. I'll show this option on this big screen on iPad. I'm connecting this adapter. I will run my application, and will show to you. So we have, you can see screen of my iPad. I'm running FMLinear. It's my application that you can find in the Apple Store, App Store. You can see the settings. It's also mentioned the name of FileMaker database, login password, some other option. Let me press database, and FileMaker database should be open it now. Yes, it opened it. And I will scan for some barcode. And you can see that we don't leave. You can see, yes. You can see that we're not leaving FileMaker Go, but scan is appear in FileMaker Go. How it works? To make this work, I'm using second application, FMLinea, that works in the background. And after each scan, it pasting barcode with special tags into the pasteboard. And in FileMaker Go, we need to, as soon as we entering this layout, we need to run script that checking pasteboard like every 1 second, for example. So it's also a little bit some kind of technique, but it works quite well. I also can I'll show you how this can be work like in point of sales. I will enable after scan. Actually, this scanner is support after scanning feature, so we can. It's like when just imagine that you have point of sale and you connect. You're making some barcodes via some goods, and it will be scanned automatically. And after some time, if you not use it, it's going to sleep. But as soon it moves something around, it will wake up and continue scan. I will scan my magnet cards too. So here you can have more information about my magnet card. So this one another technique that one we can use. And now. And before we go further, I want to just show how some scripts, how it works. I'll try to do this there. I will, oh my God. Scripts, shift, yes, and I have it in my another window, so I need to move it to your screen. So as soon as we're going to the layout, you need to install on timer script that will work like each 1 second. And the script could be quite simple. It's like something like this. It's few. Everything main commands is here. It's you pasting the clipboard every time you're pasting a clipboard, and then you using pattern count to see if this tag is present in this in your pasteboard. So you can like constantly checking the pasteboard. One thing that you need to remember when you're working with this technique is, for example, if you need on this layout entering some other field and enter some data, you need to disable this script as soon as we entering some other field, and you need to turn it off when you're leaving this field. So it's some kind of technique. Then let me go to next step. Sorry for that. So, oh my, sorry. I will. Yeah, and the December of 2015, as soon as FileMaker companies presents this new FileMaker iOS App SDK technology, I was very, very happy. And because my current projects at this time, exactly at that time, required some more professional usage of FileMaker with external accessories. Interesting that, could I ask you to raise your hands who is already played a little bit with iOS App SDK? Oh, quite many people. Thanks. How can we integrate some external hardware to support FileMaker based on iOS App SDK? Actually, I'm creating special frameworks, plugins that we can add to Xcode project, and everything will work inside in the frame of one application. It's more easy for remote installation, for remote distribution of software. You don't need additional settings to work between two applications. Everything works inside one application. It's quite very cool. From version 16, FileMaker is added additional ability to generate plugins for us. So it's good. We can now in more official way add to support external hardware. Next slide. It's too complicated. You don't need to remember everything. I just created it to show you that when I start to create my FileMaker plugin for iOS App SDK for external hardware, I realized that connecting this plugin to Xcode project, it's not very easy. You need to remember many different steps. Of course, I can write it one by one and create instruction, and FileMaker developer can go one by one, but it's not very FileMaker style, not so easy. So that's why I created Xproject FM. It's a free application that you can use it, that allow you to generate FileMaker iOS App SDK application just pressing on one button. With embedded, if you want, is with embedded driver for external hardware. Now I will show you how it works, if you don't mind, okay? So you should see my screen now. I'm running Xproject FM application. All we need to do is, I have here my logo for your future application. I need to just drag and drop it to this project. Also, I have demo database that I also need to drop to container field. Then you need to enter some name, DEFCON 17. Here we need to enter a bundle identifier. It's some kind of your DNS name in reverse order. You know, maybe who play with iOS App SDK. Then we need to use some kind of URL identifier like FMP for FileMaker Go. And you need to choose place where your SDK is located. Mine already was chosen. You can actually you can use any previous version starting from 15 and using 16. Then you going to plugin section, and you can these plugins that was created that already you can use. Let's use for FM Linear plugin, and now we can run and wait a little bit. Many things will be done automatically, step by step. I will show you maybe some of them. Done. So we thank you. Then we're pressing red square button or round button, and we'll open our ready FileMaker Xcode project. if you see in the settings, you could see that external accessory framework was added to the project. It's a accessory that we need to work with almost any kind of external accessories. Our framework also was added to the project. Header file it's like driver from manufacturer, from IPC print. It's also static library was added to project. It's from our it's a driver for our equipment. You don't need to remember this. I just show you what was done automatic order. You can see also all it's like external accessory protocol was entered to the project. So many things was done, and now you have ready to go project. There's only one thing that you need to adjust. It's the name of your team. It means your Apple developer account. It could be usual account or enterprise account of as Apple developer. I will use my one. So that's all. Now I can connect. Let me connect some external hardware. Where is my cable? Okay, here. I will use it for example for this iPad. I will show you my iPad again. You should see the screen of my iPad. In the target screen, I need to see my iPad. I need to make it to connect it more tight. You can see iPad here. I'm pressing build and run button, and after some period of time, new application should appear on the screen. Many things is done at that moment by Xcode. And now application is appear. And running. And now I can disconnect it and run and add my scanner. I will run, it's demo file that come in with Xproject.fm application. Now I will show you, it's maybe not very focused, but I'll send this command, and we see a response from our plugin, the version, some settings. I will show you this way. And now we can scan some barcode, and it appears on the screen.
Graphic in it. Are you loading your own interface, XIB interfaces over the top of FileMaker?
You mean which?
When you did your info equals 1 and you pulled up the custom dialog to show the plugin version, you had a green box.
It's
FileMaker custom dialog doesn't let you load graphics into it.
Yes. It was done by framework, by our plugin.
So you can build your own interfaces. Load those over the top.
Not always. Not always. We can show some kind of dialog that iOS application can show. So it's like a standard function of iOS. And
could you make input fields for that from the iOS side, or
not?
just
No. We should. I think that we could use input fields in FileMaker pod. Okay, and I just opened my website to show how it works, that you understand how actually I was able to make this. Actually, we have one application and two threads two applications that works inside one application. One of this thread is FileMaker thread, and second is plugin thread. And to talk with each other, we are using standard. At the bottom, we have our prefix, standard prefix, app name, DB name, name of scripts to communicate from plugin to FileMaker. And when we talk from FileMaker to plugin, we're using our own internal URL. So using imaster and then dot to slashes and plugin, the name of plugin. Actually, in this way, we can add many different plugins. We just can add in your project plugins that you need. You don't need many functions that can extend the space of your project. So we can use only needed plugin for your project. So that's how actually we can connect any kind of hardware. Today I want to show you some little bit more. We have also two printers that working directly with FileMaker iOS App SDK. One of it is printer. It's fiscal printer, mobile printer that we're using widely in our projects. It's like a receipt printer. Let me open my iPod Touch. Let me share screen with you. Yes, it works now. And also at the same time, I want to show you my printer, maybe via camera. I'll try to. I'll close some windows and I'm making something like this. Oh, you can see me. Oh, good. I want to show you this printer more. Maybe you don't see him very well, but let me go. Actually, this printer works via internal Bluetooth, so it supports a new version of Bluetooth. I'm going to Bluetooth settings of iOS device. You can see that device already was connected. Let's pretend that it was. I will disconnect it. But it was not connected yet. It will looking for Bluetooth devices. Oh, some MacBook Pro was found. So I'm find my printer. I'm trying to connect it. I'm making pairing. Now it was paired. So I'll run my application. Sometimes I previously need to turn off previous application. So now we can see the screen of my demo application. Actually, we can even scan some data here. Now we inside our application. We will go to report to start work with receipt printer, we need to print a report. We call it X and Z report. I don't know, do you have the same in America? I will press Z button, and you can see that report was printed almost simultaneously. And now we can go to the ticket section. Actually, for this printer, we have a project to conductors for our railways. And we will use some source station. We need to print ticket with and destination station. Sorry, it's Cyrillic language, not English. I'm pressing print ticket button, and you will see that ticket was printed with all these Cyrillic stations on it. And second printer, I will show you. This printer don't have a Bluetooth LE version, so that's why for this printer we're using Bluetooth adapter of Linear Pro adapter. So I will turn it on. This printer can print price tags. It's widely. We also one of the projects is using these printers. It's printers named .tech or IPC peripherals printers, and as well as Zebra printer. So I'll run our application. So maybe I need to run it again. Yes, and we have FileMaker interface here. We can run scan barcodes. Barcodes is appear on the screen. Let's pretend that we entering right login and password. We are going to the menu. We have many different menus here, but we will go to the printer setup, and we'll run searching for printer. Printer will be searched, and as soon as it will be found, it will show us the printer in the portal. Actually, we can have many different printers in our range, so we need to choose which one. And then I'm going to the price tag. I'll scan some barcode, and I'm getting the price and the name of this ware, and I'm pressing print button. For the first time, Bluetooth connection takes some seconds, maybe 10, maybe 15. Now we can see that Bluetooth is appear on the screen, Bluetooth sign. And you can see that price tag was printed. I'm printed again. So this price tag was printed, and we can use this price tag, for example, on the shelf. Yeah.
Yes, there's a barcode on that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, the barcode here. Yeah, of course. That's the main demo that I want to show you today. I will return to my keynote presentation. And to make short conclusion, actually, if I'm collecting as I said before, I'm collecting all hardware that you may need to use, and then that we can connect to FileMaker somehow. And I think that when we connecting hardware to FileMaker, we can widely extend the range of usage of FileMaker. So if you have some ideas, some hardware that you need to use in your project, please share it with me. And I think that actually, if any hardware has the SDK for iOS, so it could be used with FileMaker. if it don't have SDK, it still maybe it also can be used. For example, when we're working with such kind of printer, we're using Bluetooth adapter of this device, and we actually send pure text file to this printer. So sometimes many of such printer using escape post protocol, maybe sometimes some of them ZPL, like Zebra or CPCL protocol. So most of them it's just text file. So we can send via framework, send that data to pure text data to some devices. This session for sure will have updates on our portal, FileMaker portal. I will enter all hardware links on all hardware links to all applications that was mentioned today. Thank you for joining this session, and I want to ask you, please leave your evaluation. It's very important for me. Thank you very much. If you have questions.
I have a question. Do you have an experience connecting to like industrial machines?
Which one?
I'm just in the early stages. I've got a client who's got it's like a machine shop, so they have extruders and ovens and all kinds of things, and they want to be able to basically walk up to it with an iPad and have the machine recognize who the user is and that sort of thing. And I'm still trying to find out what the interfaces are, but I didn't know if you had any general experience with that sort of stuff.
I think that I don't have such experience, but I think that if you have some adapters or some ways, if this equipment works with iOS somehow, then it could be connected to FileMaker. So.
I mean, but if it had something like, let's say it's an old, I don't know, an RS-232 interface or some such thing, or did you know of adapters that would allow you to connect that to, say, Bluetooth and then enable you? I don't know if anybody has done that.
Yeah, it can be done. I think it can be done.
Okay, cool, thanks.
And actually, I forgot to show you the very, very interesting device that makes almost the same. It's iPhone 7 with Honeywell adapter, Captiva. It also allows us to scan barcodes, but it rocks solid. It can scan everything, any kind of barcode. It works very, very fast. And I saw when this device was scanned barcodes under the semi-transparent metal plastic cover. So it works every time. So it's not very cheap, but it's very, very.
It's $2,000. Actually, the story is, I went to his website about a month ago. I'm his friend. And I saw a site, and I saw he's making these apps on the App Store for FM Lina and FM Track. And I was like, holy cow, this is huge. I've been working with FileMaker for over 12 years, and I've been waiting for this mobile thing to take off. And we all know that the FM Go has quite a few pitfalls with latency and data issues and accessing all these new things that Apple rolls out every year. But for some reason, they're just now talking about maybe someday giving us battery life. And I'm like, well, Apple's on Siri and image recognition and all this other stuff, and it's going to take a FileMaker platform or FM Go on mobility 6 more years before they're ready to use iOS 11's newest thing. And I'm like, that stinks for being a subsidiary of Apple. And so I'm like, how can I go to the next level with my solutions? And I saw what he did, and I do some iOS development, and I was trying to get around the sandbox problem in a sexy way, which he has figured out, and he didn't give it to us today, the sexiness, matter of respect. And so I was using the Lina. Our company uses about 60 to 80 of those, the FM Linas, and the batteries don't come out, and they're not as expensive as the Honeywell imager, but they don't have 802.11 AC. So if you have these big industrial warehouses with lots of metal shelving, you have lots of issues with latency issues with the Lina because the chipset for the wireless card isn't that great. And so what's the best mobile device right now on the market? iPhone 7 Plus, right? It has a 2800 milliamp battery. And so I'm like, what can I run with that? So I got Lina's new Tab M. It sucked. The ergonomics were horrible. It didn't hold in your hand properly. And so I said, okay, Honeywell made something. And I couldn't find anything on the community forums or anywhere in the FileMaker community about anyone using Honeywell devices. And so I found this one. I bought it, $900, kind of high, so it better produce, right? And then AT&T doesn't do any subsidies anymore on devices. So when you buy a 7, you're paying $900 on the next plan. Sucks. I'm the director, so I have to look at all that stuff when I make these purchases. So $2,000 for the package, but that thing's scanning through bubble wrap, semi-transparent film, as he was trying to say, where they wrap pallets, and there has been no delays, no latency, no issues. It's the fastest thing in our warehouse. We have about 150 users in our distribution centers, and there's never been a pause, a hang up, or anything like that. And what was great about Alexey here in the Ukraine after I found him, I emailed him one night at 3 a.m., found his page. I'm like, you have the answer to what I need. And I said, emailed him. He emails me back in like 5 minutes. And so, because it's early morning there.
That's
and
interesting.
He's like, yeah, I will do it. And I said, I got the SDK because I bought the thing, got the developer account, logged into Honeywell, downloaded all the PDFs, sent it to him, and I go, I want it to do this, 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 and this. I want the battery to work like this, and get the maximum utility out of the milliamps. And he gave me the file back in 2 days. And then I went to go deploy this because I upgraded to FM16 from 12, got rid of the FM Linas, had to patch some stuff together to get my Zebra printers working again. And that weekend I was moving everything over, thinking I was ready. You always think you're ready, right? And I'm emailing, hey, this isn't running right. And he's up all night with me for 2 days straight, fixing everything. So if there's a device you need, industrial machines, and I'm into a sales pitch. Sorry, Alexey. And you need something quick in 2 days because you have a device, you want to program a Ford engine, whatever you want, and there's some code. Somehow, it's obviously easier if it's already been prepackaged.
Thank you, Nate. Thank you. And actually,
just give it to him, he'll have it back in 2 days.
Interesting that the driver for this device was developed remotely. So I just saw this device in live only a few days ago. So quite interesting. So thanks.
I tried to get them to give you one, but they wouldn't. I
can't. Okay. Thank you. Maybe some other questions? No? Okay, thank you for joining. Thank you.